All right. What's up, everybody? It is February 12th, Monday. I almost made this video yesterday because as I was sitting there uploading the second video I made yesterday, I was like, I happened to just scroll through a couple articles and I saw that Jon Jones post and I was like, man, I wish I would have made it then too, because I would have beat everybody to the punch. I'd have beat everybody. Oh, anyways. So, I guess it was over a phone interview maybe or something. I forget exactly how it got said, because he didn't just straight up post it. But basically, Jon Jones came out and let him know that they offered him the main event for UFC 300. Now, this is just another thing adding on to my whole thing with the UFC in a financial bind and UFC 300 looking like a bust. And all of it, I can't stress this enough as I make multiple videos and have conversations about this one topic. All of this stems from not being honest. This whole mess, the UFC doesn't even have to put on a spectacular pay-per-view at UFC 300. UFC 100 and 200 were not made out like they're making out UFC 300. The reason why this feels like it has to be that is because they've said it's going to be that, and they've talking down competition, competitors, or anyone that didn't want to be a part of UFC. And it's come back and bit them in the ass now. So, before I get too far off on Jon Jones, or too far off on my 300 rants, it's kind of funny with Jon, because Jon, I don't know, man. I feel like some things in this world are common sense, but the more I've been around, the more I'm like, God dang it, nobody has it. If I was... All right, I've been saying UFC's a bust. UFC 300 is going to be a bust. It's not set up to be this spectacular card. They don't have a main event for like 2 months now. And if I'm doing it, Jon Jones has to be aware of it a little bit. Or at least aware of the vibe that people have. I mean, I don't know. I guess not everyone thinks as in-depth as me, so maybe they're not so caught up with it. My attention's really caught up because of the business side of it. Like, why are you going to marquee this pay-per-view that you're not going to be able to do what you're advertising on when you're in a financial bind? And they're trying to, it's just a failing business move. They try to lie to build rapport, and that never works in any business. At least for the long term. But, all right, so Jon came out and said they offered him the main event for 300. And he turned it down. He also let him know he turned it down. He could have just said they offered it to him and kind of like created some suspense, but he said he turned it down. He's still hurt. There's no way he's going to fight at 300. Sorry, y'all. He's making sure every fight matters and this and that. Now, knowing Jon and the way that he acts and stuff, Jon is very defensive, which is crazy. Man, a lot of really successful people are defensive. They have a chip on their shoulder. Jon put all that out to get ahead of the step of anyone saying he turned down a fight. Like, say the fight was offered to be with Aspinall. Aspinall could then come out and say, Jon's scared to fight me. Jon won't fight me. Jon had an opportunity to fight me and he turned it down. Jon's getting ahead of it by putting all this out. That's why I think Jon put this out. That, and I think he doesn't have a lot to talk about too. Anything he can do to put his name out there, he does. He's just not good at it. But what he also did to people with common sense, he revealed UFC doesn't have a main event booked for 300. The super fight that fell into Dana's lap clearly didn't fall into his lap because they just offered it to Jon Jones. Like, they just offered the main event to Jon Jones. I don't know if he said who the opponent would be, but I guarantee it was going to be Stipe. The only thing in my back pocket this whole time I keep trying to give Dana the benefit of the doubt, and I'm like, I kept wanting to say he signed Ryan Bader. But I've looked it up over and over, and Ryan has showed no interest in the UFC, and his contract's fresh over there with Bellator PFL. They're not going to lose him. They're not going to let him go. I don't get it. John completely just outed the whole struggle that they're having and trying to cover up. But I'll be honest, I'm at a point where I think the UFC knows people aren't thinking as in-depth as me. Well, they have to think like that to even attempt the lies, like the lies with USADA, the lies with Conor. Guys, the Max and Justin fight got canceled, and they're not even talking about it. That was like the one fight on the card anyone cared about. Remember, every fight was going to be main event quality. The super fight's going to be Kayla Harrison and Holly Holm, and Holly's going to crush her. Oh, I don't know. Freaking John Jones came out, said he was offered the main event for UFC 300 and turned it down. Who's going to be the main event? Like, they're going to be forced. They're going to be forced to up a fight already announced as the main event because they can't pull anyone together. That, or they're going to do something just absolutely bogus. Like, they'll do just something ridiculous that no one wanted. I don't know. All right. That's all I got for right now. Y'all have a good day. War Lab, Cody Brett, you're still a bum, and your mom's still a hoe.